I think, first of all, simply by offering an alternative. We really do think that monopoly politics or near monopoly politics at the federal level is not good for Alberta. It means that Alberta gets taken for granted. Specific example is energy trusts and income trusts. Those decisions were taken by a government that thought didn't really matter what they did to the energy sector in Calgary, because Calgary would just suck it up, and there's still anger about those decisions. So we think that offering Alberta and Calgarians an alternative, and it's also part of it, it's not just, it's Saskatchewan, it's British Columbia, it's Manitoba, giving people a sense that there's a viable alternative out there, a centrist, moderate, sensible, practical alternative is good for politics. And we're going to run competitively in 308 ridings, so it's not just the West, it's right across the country. I don't dream in Technicolor, no. I understand and respect the political traditions in Alberta. But I'm also doing something else which I think is important to say, which is that I've been saying consistently since I became leader that we have to have environmental policies and energy policies that do not divide one Canadian region against another. We have to have environmental and energy policies that unite Canadians instead of dividing them. That's as important a message to me as anything else. So it's not just about Alberta. What I'm trying to say, and I said this to energy executives today, is the energy sector in Alberta is the hub of a national industry. You go out to St. John's, Newfoundland, there are people getting on planes going out to Fort Mac. You go to Sault Ste. Marie to a pipe mill, they're making pipe for this industry. You go to Hamilton, Ontario, they're making steel for this industry. It's a national industry that employs Canadians coast to coast. And we've got to think of it that way as opposed to just an Alberta industry. I don't see a contradiction between having a strong environmental commitment to make the oil sands environmentally and socially sustainable and being a party that believes in a great national industry which is going to be driving growth right across Canada for the next century. I don't see the contradiction. We have got to get energy policy, environmental policy together, and we got to keep the country together as one. That's my job. Well, I was in Kamloops last weekend. I was in Squamish for town halls. I take a mic, I go out in front, and people ask me any questions they want. That's my strategy, to get as close to Canadians as I can, listen respectfully. They're not going to like everything I have to say, but get in dialogue back and forward. It makes me hopefully a smarter, better politician. I want trying very deliberately setting up a contrast between a prime minister who kind of stays away from Canadians, is happier doing interviews on CNN and Fox than he has talking to his own citizens. I want to get out to every small town that'll have me. I mean, that's the way done is, and notice this high school, for heaven's sake. Calgary, questions in the 2 official languages, every single religion, race, creed, and color in the world in that room. You think, what a great country. Look, let's argue with the premise. My view of this is that my devotion, the importance I attach to rural and small town Canada, began 3 years ago when I came into. I was the first Canadian politician to say that the rural-urban divide is a national unity issue which we have not addressed. But I'm not going to make my stance on defending a gun registry as essential to public safety the test of whether I care and I'm willing to listen to rural Canada. We've made it clear that the Senate bill and 301, the Bright Rights bill, gut the gun registry. And a party that is serious about public safety, a party that is serious about keeping Canadians safe wherever they live, will not gut the gun registry. What I've also said to my caucus, and I repeat, is that we will do anything to make the registration requirements of the registry easier for Canadians. We want to listen to the sense of frustration that legitimate and lawful gun owners have about the registry. In government, I will do anything to make that easier. I respect the right of people to use lawful registered firearms on shooting ranges, for hunting. The Liberal Party has nothing but respect for that, but you cannot sacrifice public safety here, and I will not do so. And the Conservatives are using the gun registry as a political wedge to try and get votes in rural Canada, and we're saying there is so much to offer rural Canada. Better health care, better infrastructure, better access to post-secondary education, better environmental policies that reward farmers for being stewards of the land, a food policy. You know, I could go around the board here and tell you the things we want to take out to rural Canada to say, give us a hearing here. If you make the gun registry issue the test of your credibility in rural Canada, you play into Mr. Harper's game. Mr. Harper wants to divide Canadians. He wants to divide rural against urban. I'm not playing that game. Écoutez, ce que je trouve,
listen, what I find
curieux,
interesting is that when Mr. Mulroney had his 70th birthday, I, leader of the Liberals, I sent him a message of congratulations. I disagree with the policies of Mr. Mulroney. I'm from another political tribe, but I recognize that he had two major majority governments. A lot of Canadians have a lot of respect for Mr. Mulroney's strengths, and you have to show some respect. It's simple. And I believe that Mr. Harper is lacking respect towards Mr. Mulroney. I know there's controversy surrounding Mr. Mulroney. After all, he was the Prime Minister of Canada. And I have respect for the institution, and I have respect for the character of the person.
Well, it's a very notable fact that unemployment growth has been faster in Calgary than in almost any other metropolitan center in Canada. One of the reasons that, you know, I've been here 3 times since Christmas is that I want to meet with industry leaders. I met them for lunch today. We met the pipeline companies, the natural gas companies, the exploration companies, the big players in the oil sands, to talk about environmental policy. I didn't pull my punches. I said this has got to be an environmentally sustainable industry. They agree with me. The question is how we get there, how we use government policy to get there in a way that, to be frank, doesn't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. I mean, I repeat, the thing about this, about Calgary, is that it's a national economic center. It's not just the center of the Calgary economy. Thousands of Canadians right across the country from coast to coast depend on the success and vibrancy of the economy that's centered here. And a sensible government, whether we get a seat here or not, has to be working with Calgary to get Calgary back in business so we can get the Canadian economy back in business. That was the message I had today for the leaders in the industry, and I'll be back again to talk to them because this is an employer right across the country. And it's the future of our country is tied to the success of a sustainable oil sands and a sustainable natural gas industry in Canada. Merci.